With April officially offering the second strongest monthly gains on the Aussie stock market for well over 40 years, often the best trades of the year start with buys in April. That's why tonight we'll give you 3 ASX stocks that look ready to take off and highlight the key levels you need to know. Backed by Australia's leading government-accredited share trading education and supported by major media outlets Australia-wide, I am Philip Tortevsky, joined by senior analyst Pedro Banales, and we are Wealth Within. Good evening, buddy.
Good evening, Phil. Great week on the market so far.
Yeah, so far, great week. I just have to let you all know we are recording this on a Thursday and it will go out on the following Monday. So the prices are, as of Wednesday, a lot will happen or can happen over the weekend, and a lot is happening today, in fact, with the markets. But let's get straight into it right now and get into our first stock, which is Paladin Energy. Obviously, the idea, Pedro, is to look for stocks that could, have really strong Aprils. We know that April is generally a time on the market that we do see, fund managers often shift positions, get ready and start building positions leading into the second half earnings, which we have in August, trimming positions. And to that point, obviously, right now we do have a lot of geopolitical issues around the world, particularly the US-Iran situation. And, just today, Trump came out and made an address to nations. Our index was up in the morning. It's automatically reversed down based on what he said. The market is, I think, right now sniffing out that there is no, potential short-term ending in sight for this war, and starting to question really the policy and the agenda going into this and how it's going to end. And the often dynamic we're seeing in that stock market is basically oil and energy stocks start to rise when the market sniffs out or starts to not believe good things are coming. And the first sign that the market starts to feel a bit more secure that the war is about to end, we see the rest of the market take off. So to that point, I think when you're looking at positions, what's been flying or what's likely to continue if this instability holds over the next month or two, which again, there's no reasons why or no, positives showing that it could end. When you look at those kinds of situations, these 3 stocks really stand out. And the third one, especially, it's a real big dark horse. But when you look at Paladin, obviously it's the uranium play. And uranium isn't directly just a catalyst or a result of what is happening with this war. It's evident major powers like China, India, they've been going nuclear for quite some time. That transition is well underway. We are seeing elevated uranium prices in light of what is happening recently. But when I look at the chart, Paladin is not a new story. I mean, this market has started running since May 2025, and I believe we've looked at this quite a few times. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we started looking at this around that $8, $9 level. But what's interesting is we had that big blow off. Now the market's given a nice little pullback, and it's pulled back into an area where, we really wanted to see this one come back and see what would happen, and that is that gap through there. It came back to fill a gap, which stocks often do. It's pulled back into momentum, which if we apply this momentum line on the way up. And so it's giving all the reasons why a bounce is likely through here and potentially offering another nice little opportunity for players to get involved if they haven't. So I really love the fact that the way we've pulled back as well is testing that previous level where buyers really struggled to get higher. We had that spike, but then initially got blown off. We tried again back in 2024 to hold these $10 levels. Weren't able to. Tried again in October 25 to hold them. This is the first time, and once we broke out with conviction by creating that gap. Now that we've come back to test it, we are really, getting so much confirmation that buyers are in play here. So I think as long as this one holds momentum and the way it's popped up this week is quite promising. So, short-term run to at least $14 looks highly likely now. And if this is the resumption of that big long-term trend, then I think getting to that $17, $18 mark and beyond is the next movement for Paladin, because despite all of the craziness that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, this stock has not managed to break structure to the downside in terms of unfolding like what you would see stocks do in a bear market. So right now we're relatively stable, which is crazy to say for a stock that is in the uranium space, but it looks very uniform. So I think if that trend holds, it looks like another opportunity. Your thoughts on Paladin?
Yeah, it definitely does look like another opportunity, and they've actually upgraded their guidance for this year. So it's no wonder that it's getting picked up. They're making strides, and it's a very solid uranium company. They also have the acquisition of Fission Uranium over in Canada as well. So on the chart, what I really like is that increase in volume. I mean, it is the biggest volume that this stock for an extended period that it's ever had. You zoom out and you can just see just the level of volume that's come into. So it's become quite a liquid stock. It's there's a lot of interest in it at the moment. Another thing that I like is, I mean, you've already outlined the fact that it's holding momentum, which is great. Another thing that I would say is that every time that it has these down moves, it trades up again. Now it's had another one of these down moves, and I think that it is on the precipice of possibly moving up. Of course, the key level here to break is at $14. If it breaks above that level, then yes, definitely, I think $18 to $20 could be on the cards. And I mean, if you were a bit more conservative, you could wait. But if you have certain rules in place and if you know how to trade this one, like, I mean, if you back tested it and know what you're doing, you could actually enter a whole lot earlier and have that buffer before it breaks that level. So it depends on your skill as a trader, but I think that this one is looking great.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Well, next up is Yancoal Limited. Now we'll go to the chart on that one, Pedro. Yancoal, this is another, I guess, a play in the light of, if the situation does not tame down out in the Middle East. Obviously now the world with oil and gas, the supply issues we're seeing there, right now the world is going, okay, what's the next other option? And that's why you've seen a bit of a spike in coal. And, this company, along with some of the other coal players on Australia, could position themselves to benefit greatly from this scenario. And what we're seeing with coal is just that. A whole bunch of, nowhere, doing nothing for so long. Now we get this big pop-up. It's like price is telling us, okay, the story is real. This whole period didn't warrant coal to do much. Now we've got the pop. The fact that we managed to close above this $7 level is very, very bullish for me. I wouldn't be surprised if we move back down and start to test the top end of this range or even go in a bit further. But the second we do, that may line itself up to the better risk-reward scenario. If you're looking to get involved and chase this run-up, I would think it comes with higher risk. But the fact that we've seen confirmation of a break or a close, and I'll zoom this out, above that high through there, there's a very real chance Yancoal now goes for a run over the next month or two, potentially, into that $10.70, 80 range, unless it decides to settle down for a bit. But again, another one on the back of the scenario we are dealing with globally, geopolitically, that could see some upside or continued upside over the next couple of weeks. And I mean, just on that weekly chart, again, huge volume coming through. I would ideally like to see a bit of a pullback, to be honest, but nevertheless, we may see, this continue to run higher. Your thoughts on Yancoal, mate?
Yeah, look, it's. I had a picture of coal, pretty much saying, "Ha, I knew you'd come running back." Basically, we've been trying to get away from the whole coal story by going into renewables, gas, and all of that. But unfortunately, we've had to come back to dirty old coal again, and it's exactly because what you've mentioned, what's happening over in the Middle East. We've seen China increase their capacity for coal because they've had issues, getting gas and all of that out of the Middle East and other countries as well. So that's why these coal players are doing well. Yancoal has broken out, like you mentioned. I've highlighted this period before here, back here in 2016, 733% up. So it's not unlike this stock to have these sharp increases in price once in a while. And we had here 260%. So right now, from this low here, it's only trading at around 94. So if we go somewhere roughly in the middle, say 300%, then this could really trade up to anywhere between $14 and $18 really if it continues its run. And you might think that's out of the question, but really have a look at the history and what it can do. So in these times of crisis as well, it's quite a possibility. So at the moment, it is pulling back a little bit this week. On the daily chart, just have a look quickly though what's happening. It's still holding up and it's pointing to the upside. So there's a bit of a pattern unfolding there. It's holding up quite nicely. a break to the upside could very well be on the cards, especially with April coming in and that cyclical nature of commodities coming into play.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, well, let's dive into our dark horse, which is Hyperion Limited. Now, this one, Pedro, is such an interesting stock. We'll go to the chart and have a chat about it. But, I mean, this one is involved in titanium. Now, we know that China supplies around 70% of the rare earths globally, even to the US. We know that in light of the current situation, the US has been looking for some time to divest its reliance on China from rare earths. And then we look at what type of metals are applicable in order to provide that transition, and titanium pops up. And so this particular stock is sitting in a very, very interesting situation. It's obviously an option that the US would really be looking at in terms of allied supply of these critical minerals. And when I look at this chart, for me, it's come back and smack bang. Who says these technicals don't work? Smack bang on momentum and started to find buying. Now, am I going to call an initial buy right now after such a fall? Absolutely not. But the fact that it's found buys at this level is very promising. And again, it's about getting your confirmation, which, we teach all this stuff. I'm not going to dive into it on this show, but, go and check that book out. I'll give the book a plug in a second. It's been a bit of a while, but volume coming in off this low, which is quite interesting. We do have a gap up here. So a run to about $5 is very likely and quick, but I don't want to take too much of this one, mate. I've covered the previous two. What are your thoughts on this one and the situation it's in terms of that titanium play?
Yeah, this one's had a huge role in the reshoring of titanium into the US, and it's actually received government backing over in America. It's got patented technology. I think that they patented their titanium powder. So that, they've actually, and they're very green. So they have a green kind of a way of producing stuff. So they're ticking a lot of boxes. The company's making strides. Now, unfortunately, the technicals haven't been reflecting this, but as we know, a lot of the time, the technicals will lead, and then the fundamentals will catch up. So by the time that you hear, IperionX, everybody's talking about it on the forums and on TV, it'll probably be at around that $7.20, and you would have thought that you missed the boat. So this is the time to start looking at it. We've got increased volume. We've got that reversal. There's a gap to fill there at around $4.90 to $5.20. Huge gap there. And we can see that it has filled it before on the weekly. It took a while. So that's why I do agree that we can't call an exact bottom now. But let's have a look at what happened before when it bottomed. It had this move to the upside, and then it just traded sideways for a little bit. And then we saw that next move up. So that's exactly what could happen here. We could see a little bit of a sideways move before that next leg up. So this is definitely the time to start looking at this. And, having that tailwind again of April, where the market usually rises and the money starts to think, well, where am I going to flow for the best opportunities? This could very well be one of those stocks that those fund managers are looking at. It's over $1, so right up their alley, and it's got great potential. So the technicals are still down, but they're starting to give us an inclination that something is happening. And I think that everybody can take a part in that just at the right time. Yeah,
and I want to get your exact price guidance on where you think this one is going to get to. But before I get that from you, just check this book out. It's How to Beat the Managed Funds by 20%. It's free. You just have to pay the shipping. The link is in the description in this video. It's a really nice introduction to all the things we show on this show. But if you do want to take things professionally, please go and visit the website, wealthwithin.com.au, and look at our government accredited diploma of share trading and investment. I keep saying it, there isn't another one like it. That speaks volumes of what it is. So go and check that out. Check the testimonials out as well from what our clients are doing. You will be very, very impressed. But Pedro, with this Hyperion, just in terms of an upside target with price, what are you thinking? Obviously, you said that 460. If it does break through that gap and continue on in light of the perfect conditions it's got going for it, can it break through to that all-time high again?
Well, it certainly seems like it. If you look at the history of how this moves, every time that it breaks above a new all-time high, it does trade much more higher. So when it broke above that previous all-time high back here in 2024, 142%. Then it broke above that all-time high there, 153%. It did fail to break above the all-time high in January 2026. But I would expect that if it does break above that high, then we could see prices up to that $14. But before we get there, it will take a while to get to that level. So I would just end with the next possible resistance levels here at $4.20. Obviously, that's the one that it needs to get past, and then the ultimate level for it to break is going to be that $6. But I think that it will get to that $6 in the medium to long term.
Yeah, and just one more thing on my chart, if we go back and take a look. Obviously, in terms of the fall, I think it's important to mention this stock here, whilst it's been operating in trend, it fell back during the 2025 period and fell around 66%. And right now, it is literally smack bang on the same level of fall before we've seen buyers pick in. So given the cyclical nature of a lot of these stocks, it could very well be the low in terms of price. But if you want more hot stock tips, check out our video. These ASX stocks always rise after oil spikes. Bye now.